Hello everybody, I hope that all of you are doing super well, and today we have to talk about Fatal Fury because out of nowhere, when everybody that knows about this game thought that it would not have a discount at EVO, taking into account how new it is, SNK has been actually smart enough and they put a 40% discount on Fatal Fury on Steam. So you need to give this game a chance, man, and in this video we are gonna talk about all the reasons as to why you should buy Fatal Fury right now, because it is arguably going to be the best moment ever in time to buy this game. So let's get into the discussion about why you should put your money in Fatal Fury. But before we move on with everything, huge shout out to Maximilian Dude, because all of this footage is from his channel and his early access to Ken, because I wanted to showcase the character while we discuss why you should buy Fatal Fury at this moment in time. So a huge shout out to him. I don't have early access to this type of stuff, so all the footage is from his channel. So the first reason, of course, as to why you should buy Fatal Fury right now is because of the freaking discount, man. This game came out 3 months ago and it's already basically half price. It is absolutely insane that this is happening, and I actually applaud SNK for doing this because they are aware that the game is not being as successful as they want it to be. They are working not only to make it better, but they are also making it cheaper right away. So if you ever thought of giving this game a try, it is the perfect moment right now, because not only you're gonna get the game with a huge discount and a much cheaper price, but this game is arguably going to be as active as it was 2 or 3 weeks after release, because we all know that the player base for the game is very dedicated and it's not necessarily the biggest. So if you want to give this game a try, you need to buy it right now with the discount, and also it's going to bring all the DLC, the special stage that comes with Ken, all of that comes with the discounted price. It's not like you have to pay more money or the full original price for the DLC. The discounted price has all of the content in it, so it is absolutely insane that you can buy this game for 35 bucks and it has all the freaking DLC. It's gonna have the stages, like it's probably gonna have also a free update with maybe geese being playable in the near future. So it is just absolutely nuts that SNK is actually aware enough of the game as an overall product that they wanted to do better, that they just said, okay, the game came out 3 months ago, we don't care. We want you to play it, give it a try, actually give the game a chance, so buy it with this huge discount right away. So please, if you want to give this game a try, it has to be now. The second reason is that if you're a huge Street Fighter fan, we all know that Ken and Chun-Li are gonna be playable in this game, and as I said earlier, you don't need to pay extra money to play as Ken and Chun-Li in the future. It's going to be added with the discounted price. So it is arguably the best chance for you if you are a fan of Street Fighter as a series and maybe want to play Fatal Fury because it has a couple of Street Fighter characters that you love, and also it's another 2D fighter that you might have thought in the past you could give a try, then it is probably the best chance to do it now. Ken is going to be playable probably very soon, in like less than a month or in a month and a half maximum, so you're gonna be able to play with Ken on Fatal Fury very soon, and also in the meantime you can play with the whole roster, of course, and I would actually recommend you to play as Andy. Andy is the first DLC of the game and it is arguably one of the best redesigns ever for an OG fighting game character. I've been working on a video to do a discussion around that redesign specifically because it is such a good work by SNK. It is arguably the best gameplay design in the game until now. So if you want to try maybe your couple of Street Fighter characters that you love on a new 2D fighter, on a new environment within the 2D fighter genre, then this is arguably the best moment ever, so that you can play as Ken and Chun-Li in the future with Fatal Fury with a discounted price. Now, another reason that is also very significant if you are like a fighting game enthusiast is that SNK is clearly trying to make this game better over time. The last update that we had with Andy actually got a ton of new content for the game and quality of life changes. There were quality of life changes for the single player mode, which is Episode of Southland, a lot of changes if you love that type of game mode. Also, the training mode in the game actually got better, the UI got much more sophisticated, now the slots for recording are actually ordered in a more intuitive way, and it is actually a much better training mode overall than what it was and release. So in that sense, if you're worried about Fatal Fury not being like the best fighting game ever when it comes to general updates, quality of life, and active development support, this game is arguably going to have at least 3 or 4 seasons of DLC and active development trying to make the game better overall over time. So if you are kind of like hesitant of buying Fatal Fury because you think, oh, it's a Discord fighter, SNK is not going to update the game ever, and I'm just going to lose my money and play the same game for 2 years, it's probably not going to be that way at all. And the other thing that is connected to this is that EWC, the big tournament that basically was the spotlight for Fatal Fury as a fighting game in the community, it's already over. And there's a big chance that with the release of Ken or maybe Joe a little later, we are gonna get an immense balance patch. So it's not only that it is the best time ever to buy the game because it has a discount and it comes with all the DLC and it has the Street Fighter guest characters if you love Street Fighter, but also the game is gonna change very quickly, which means that you're gonna get into the environment, you know, or context of playing this game at the perfect time, because you can learn for a couple of weeks, train your fundamentals or basics to get better at the game universally, and then boom, the whole game changes, a new balance patch comes that is huge, and you can basically get into the game on an atmosphere that is much more balanced than maybe what it was at launch, because at this moment there's a ton of top tiers that are very clearly much more stronger than the rest of the cast, even though the entire cast is viable. But in that sense, probably with this new balance patch, the whole roster is going to be even stronger. So in terms, you know, of changes, like general quality of life changes and balancing, it is arguably also the best moment to buy this game. And finally, we get into the gameplay reasons, because these are reasons that are universal basically with the launch of the game, even in the betas. And if you're looking for a fighting game that is actually different, for example, it has better defensive options and is more balanced when it comes to being, you know, offensively oppressive and also defensively fair, this is the perfect game for you. Like modern fighting games, we all know that they have a big problem or a big point of discussion, which is that they are all very offensively oriented. It is really hard to play a modern fighting game that has good defensive mechanics, and Fatal Fury is completely on the opposite of that. Like, this game has amazing defensive mechanics that not only require some execution and have big reward, but also are universal, so they are not depending on a character or whatever specific character that you want to play and is your favorite. You can play around defense in this game with any character. I sometimes joke with my friends that play this game that this is like N-tier the game with how good defense is, and with just defend, hyper defend. There are so many defensive options inside the gameplay of Fatal Fury that if you get into a decent level, at some point you're gonna see that people win matches only because of defense. So if you're looking for a modern fighting game that offers something different, that is actually an alternative to the whole, you know, offensively oppressive kind of like environment that we are right now, Fatal Fury is probably the best game out there. Like, no joke, dude. It has probably the best defensive mechanics that you can play on a modern game at the moment. And then we have everything else related to gameplay and general features. Like, for example, in terms of offense, this game is also very interesting. Like, it's not necessarily a super boring game because it has good defensive options. It is also oppressive. It can also be very, very strong on offense, but it feels more fair in many ways. And on offense, it is actually also one of my favorite combo systems of any modern fighting game. I love the EX into EX system that Fatal Fury has, that SNK work around for this game, because it makes combos simpler but also much more intuitive, and sometimes that is a much better way to experience a fighting game than when it comes to, for example, Street Fighter and how you need to link and all of this stuff that is a little more complicated depending on the character that you're playing. So maybe if you're looking for a game that is also offensively oppressive, that has good defense, but can be a little more accessible when it comes to combo routes and also general offensive options, this game can be for you. And the other thing, you know, are the general features. Like, this game, if you love music, it has a jukebox. If you like customizing your characters, it has a color edit. If you like, you know, RPG modes, it has a single player mode with an RPG mechanics and characteristics, which is episodes of Southtown. And there is just so much about this game that I think is worth it. I think this is the best moment to put your money into the game. So if you like it, maybe, you know, use those 36 bucks and get Fatal Fury. I love this game, so that's why I'm also making this video. I think that it is one of the best modern fighting games out there, and that it deserves your money and a chance. So I hope that you buy it. I hope that you have a ton of fun with it, and see you on the next video, guys.